Okay, Wednesday night, February 16th, 2005. Continuing Teshubah from beautiful Aharon and Shimeon on the inyan of using a keli for Mezizah. Page 49 on the bottom, Gimel. عود حاسدون من غداه مسيسة وبيم عديلون بتاعنا حلو شبات كيف جوان هزي إن صورخ له به حلو شبات لو صورخ الكين حافظين ببطولة. So also now not only are these people that are against Mezizah, they're just against Mezizah in general, but now they're against it because they're making themselves extra pious, and they're saying no, to do Mezizah on Shabbat, Hilul Shabbat, because there is no necessity for it. So you're doing medical practices is not necessary, and that's a Hilul Shabbat. It goes against the halachot of Shabbat, and they're coming up with all types of false claims just to try to get rid of it. וכן ישתפה כבודו שיחיה לדעת המחזיקים בתשתהיה מסיסה לשם מזבח אם מותר למסוס בשבת והנה הדבר להכרעת החכמים. Okay, השם ישפנם ויחייהם. Then you also, dear author, you also had this question and you didn't seem to want to answer it yourself. You left it up to the Hachamim to answer. הספק כבודו עוד אשיב ידי שני בסעיף השני. I'll get to it later as to what your doubts are. ועל זאת אשיב because
drawing blood out is din Torah on Shabbat. That's Asur min Torah.
Right. זאת אשיב כי טענתם זאת המחוסית מלמעלה בדלת האמונה והחסידות לא חדשה היא כי כבר הזכירה הרב בניין ציון זכרונו לברכה בשובתו סימן כ"ג ודאחס בלתם וטענתם יעוין שם. This is not a new story, a new idea that they're bringing up. They're just trying to cover up. They're putting this glory and a crown of faith over, their false testimonies. And it's not something new, and the Rabbi Binyan Sion already addressed it. هؤلاء باشد شوفة الجاوم بنيان سيون زاد التعانة تام لحلو شبات هي من جزات اللب من الجزة اللب مئود شكل معناته الحس الجاؤون زخون البرخاء بتبولو ما دي الساد السورة مسيسة بشبات كاشر أبائر نزوت الحس دي مئود شاقان شئين بو ما كون لبالبيل أخير لو يخوتي لعبور بشتيكا ألما عبار من السكان الزي الشيء تحفنوا به الجاؤون زال بعد ميلا نوار كي عليها هوراك نقول يوم في قيس هذا النيح ما كون من أجديها مسيسة هذا بيل عليلو مسي وعام مدي باراب مدى ونجيه لعيسى من مزبا والخول مهاري بيت إسرائيل وانيها عيبت بيت هوخام. This is not an easy issue, and I really didn't want to get into it because Rabbi Binyan Sion was so angry about it, and about the whole issue and the way he had to deal with it and go back and forth. And we're not here, to prove or disprove, but the Milah is such an important basis of Judaism. We're ready to kill ourselves for it, and especially when we have to come up against the people that are against the Mezizah and want to stop us from following the halacha. He goes, so me myself, because I am mohel, I am even more involved in the issue than somebody else.
Why is he making it not to seem like these guys are evil?
Because basically it was mostly the Reform movement who was trying to get rid of it, and it was people who just came up with false claims that had no backing for their claims as to why to get rid of it. Or so it seems from the literature of the time.
So none of them were Talmidei Chachamim, because the language here is not very respectful. That's why I asked that. At least
he's using very respectful language.
I mean, he's making them out to be like they have no respect for this or that. You know what I'm saying?
Why? No, why?
I'm not.
Go ahead.
I'm just saying language seems to be unlike other Teshubah that I've read or we've read together in the past, although I haven't been here in a while. Most rabbis are pretty respectful to one another when they have a contrary claim or a contrary argument.
Right, but over here he's not coming up against rabbis. He's talking about groups of people. They're just coming out like a group of lobbyists. Coming out. Let's stop it.
Okay.
He goes, Rabbi, the great Gaon Binyan Sion answered this, and this is his wording, word for word. جاما شنو ما دبي موسيس بشبا إيش يسوع سقيله تعود دبشت ما جمارا قام شبيه دع ذيك محلين عليه شباته כיוון שברור להם שהמסיסה היא תיקון ולא קלקול. שהרי תקנו אותה שחשבוה לצורך שפיר דייק. אם כן, סכנה איכה בדלה מייס. Okay, obviously, it would be something bad and it would be Hilul Shabbat if they were doing something negative. But this is something that the Hachamim instituted as being something positive. And they don't look at it as doing a sakana over here, but they're actually doing a tikkun, they're correcting something. And if anything would be on the other hand, it would be a sakana if they didn't do the Mezizah. إلا شيش تكون منكم سكنة إيكا مشوم حبل بشبات. אבל לדעת מן נקדים במסיסה באומנם שהיא ללא צורך, those who are against the Mezizah saying that there is no purpose in the Mezizah whatsoever, ולפעמים מזקת, and sometimes, right, it even does actual harm. אם כן, אפילו לפי דעתם, הווה המוסר שבת מקלקל בחבורה, וכמה אלן לפטור, כמו בועל בהרמב"ם בהלכות שבת, בראשון. Right. ואפילו
English.
Let's finish the paragraph from Mars. No, I want you to Mars. ואפילו שכל פיטורין לשבת אסורים מדרבנן. כל זה יש נפקותה במה שהראינו שגם לדעת מנגדים המסיסה אין בה איסור מן התורה, רק מדרבנן למי שליבו נקפו שמסופק אולי הדין עמהם. שעל כל פנים יעשה הדבר מכלל ספק דורייתא ולקה. إلا سفك إسوراد البنان يقول كان الريكوت شو.
So basically he just explains that for those that say that it's doing Mezizah could be D'oraita, he's saying at worst it would be D'Rabanan. Why? Because according to your opinion, where you say Mezizah is damaging, is Kilkul, we know that one who does an act from the Torah, but he does it in a negative fashion, it wouldn't be Asur D'oraita. You have to do it in a positive fashion to be Asur D'oraita. So therefore, at worst, if you're saying that drawing the blood out would be a negative effect on the child, at worst it would be Asur D'Rabanan. At worst.
Because you're not trying to do something positive.
You're saying
what
negative.
you're doing is going to be something, according to your opinion, it's a negative thing. And so therefore, you're not doing the right thing, and therefore it's only Asur D'Rabanan.
At worst.
It's like a backwards argument. But okay.
But that's that's why halacha works, though. You know, that's the whole beauty of of the Sebara when you're looking at the Gemara and the Rishonim, the Aharonim, how they're able to work around each other's words. Because without it, the Torah would be like a dead end street. You can't go, you can't drive, you can't come back and forth and build on previous generations and previous arguments. That's why the Torah is constantly living, because it was created in such a fashion. This is the way the Hachamim set it up for us. But now, let's just stop here for a second. The way you're looking at it from a medical perspective, how does Mezizah fit in or not fit in? We started to discuss it last week a little bit, but we said you'll be here this week so you could really fill us in a lot better.
Well, can you fill me in like a brief summary as to what you guys talked about, and then I'll give you my.
Well, we didn't really say much more than what Teshubah is talking about. That the Mezizah is something that the Hachamim instituted. They saw it as something positive to help prevent any sort of infection and inflammation happening. Mm-hmm. So and that's basically it.
The only positive aspects that I can think of would be. Just like there's two things. One, snake venom, for example. The only time when I know of today that we use, someone actually trying to suction out.
Exactly what I said, isn't it?
Is from a snake bite.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that's to withdraw the venom from going into the person. So I'm not aware of that really being helpful in bacterial infections, since we all harbor various bacteria in our mouth, especially those of us that have teeth. Mm-hmm. But there is salivary amylase. Mm-hmm. Salivary amylase is a beginning. It's a digestive enzyme. Theoretically, that would be helpful to help prevent infection. But I don't believe the Mezizah process actually has saliva on the. It's actually is it a suction type of? I'm not a mohel, so I don't know. It's just a suction.
It has to be a suction.
it's not like you're actually attempting to place saliva or amylase onto or saliva onto the child.
Interesting you mentioned that, but the original way it's found in the halakha was to draw forward from the deep parts of the blood, from the deep parts of to draw blood from the deep areas. So you want to draw it through. The way it's formulated today, though, is not only today, even hundreds of years ago already. It was to, which I done is to put wine in the mouth and then release the wine after you draw the blood forward. So when you do release it, you do have actual saliva that would be going onto the area also. Why that was formulated later on is more Kabbalistic than it is medical in the sense. It's to sweeten the judgment, the deen of the head.
Anyway, the only possible benefits that I see are that, unless I'm missing something, the negatives, in my opinion, I think probably far outweigh the positives from the perspective of, recently we all know of the tragedy that happened, but there are many infections that are harbored in human beings that can be passed to an open wound from especially the oral mucosa, the oral cavity, which has, all of us brush our teeth. Many times we bleed. That's not even mentioning cold sores that people have, and sometimes you know about these cuts and sometimes you don't. And many diseases can be transmitted that way. We know of the herpes that just happened recently. The light went off. I don't know if that's a problem.
Light is on.
Oh.
Okay.
And hepatitis also can be transmitted through open wounds, etc. And many people have hepatitis from various countries, especially when they didn't. In Cuba it was a problem. I know probably in Syria it was a problem when they used to boil needles as opposed to having hygienic needles. Transfusions were not really screened well until the 80s. So many of the Mohalim may have been exposed to these things in the past. I don't know. I mean, these are not necessarily bad diseases, but they can be transmitted. And I think the danger of doing something like that was probably not worth the risk.
But I'm sure they had these same conditions existing in pre-modern times when this halakha was instituted for the sake of protection of the child.
The fact that it's a suction type of emotion, and that you're trying,
the main thing is you're trying to draw blood.
Theoretically, it's going
away,
mainly away, is probably somewhat protective of transmitting a disease.
Right.
But I still think that the ability to transmit a disease to the child who has no immune system is still there.
Okay, fine. But now, what about the issue itself of this suctioning? Let's say we're not using the mouth and you're using a device.
But you're asking the benefit of suctioning, or
yes.
Right.
If you see any.
If I see any, the only other possible helpful scenario would be perhaps that by causing a suction, you're causing a little bit of damage to the microvasculature, maybe being able to cause a clot sooner than a knife cut, because straight knife cut is a little harder to heal than something that's than other more ragged cuts. But that's really, I couldn't really say that without, that's the only theoretical possible benefit that I can think of. And I'm not even sure that's a benefit. I can't think of any other benefit.
All right.
Has he proposed any benefits?
It's interesting though, but if the benefit was just to suck, which is always the argument of why they had suction devices 1,000 years ago also. They could have easily used straws as intermediary devices.
Right.
Or they could have used other items. Yet the Chachamim felt it should be done with direct contact. So again, some wanted to give the theory that the reason why you wanted it direct was the saliva effect.
Right.
The saliva effect, which, like I said, we know is the most dirtiest. Human mouth is most dirtiest mouth out there. Dirty, they say, than the pig's mouth. Yet the mouth is able to kill all types of infections, and well, that's the theory. That's the theory behind it. And mouth, yes, your mouth bleeds, but it clots immediately also. So by getting saliva onto the wound, it's actually therapeutic for
the
child. And also, again, having the blood flow, which draws out the infection rather than letting the infection. Maybe in those times where they were using rocks and dirty knives and non-sterile equipment. Right. So now you do the cut, and now you have that bacteria on the top of the area. So how would you draw it out? Right. With the mouth, and hoping that the mouth would kill the bacteria that was on the area.
I mean, back in 1900, they didn't have any sterile equipment. So putting a non-sterile straw into an open wound, or a non-sterile suction device into an open wound would probably not be of benefit, and would probably only be of harm as well. Today, you have sterile equipment, and if you're using sterile technique, theoretically those concerns are not really there anymore. So, I mean, I'm just not aware of any other positives.
No. Interesting.
The suctioning out of bacteria, if you're using sterile technique, it seems if you're using sterile technique, there shouldn't be that much of a concern for bacterial spread. And to tell you the truth, I mean, you're a mohel. Most of the problems that I know about from problems with I'm not an expert in every single Berit Milah that's ever been done, but most of the problems that I know that are associated with these things are coagulation problems, children that bleed, or transmission of infections from the mohel to the child. I don't think I've ever heard of a bacterial infected wound that couldn't be, that wasn't either able to be taken care of with a little bit of neosporin or something like that. I mean, you have much more experience than I do.
Yeah, but I think that the cases are far and
few. Have you seen any bacterial infections?
No, if you're sterile.
I mean, from somebody else even. Have you ever seen a bacterial infection?
No, you don't see and you don't read. I mean, they have to find 3 cases. Well, there was another study done of 8 cases over years. Now, I'm not saying 8 cases is not a lot.
8 cases of what? Bacterial infections? Or herpes and various herpes. More like viral diseases transmitted through. Yes. Because I mean, bacterial infections. Bacteria is everywhere.
Right.
And I was talking to you this week in shul. I mean, many of the mohalim use a very clean technique where they sterilize their hands and so on, but there's various techniques on how to do it. But I haven't seen anybody wear gloves. And as much as you try to sterilize hands, you can do a tremendous job and everything. It's not 100% sterile, but I still never heard of a bacterial infection.
No, you don't hear a lot of. You hear some cases of bleeding.
I mean, bleeding is even talked about in the Gemara.
Yeah, you hear some. Again, you can't control every cut. You can't control what you cut.
No, but the bleeding may be a familial problem. It's not necessarily
correct.
It's not necessarily
correct.
A mohel. I'm
exactly.
talking about. I'm talking about either hemophilia or von Willebrand's disease, some other disease that just happens to manifest itself. Because you're doing it at such a young age.
Correct.
So
the cases of problems, thank God, far and few. I mean, it took one incident in Germany or in Europe in the 1800s to bring up all these issues. One case, that's all it was. One case that brought in the Teshubah of the Maharam Shiv, the Hatam Sofer, the Dam Berit, that.
But the question comes up then, if this is a not a Torah dictated.
This is something that was instituted by the Hacharim of the Gemara.
If this is instituted by the Hacharim,
already.
if it's instituted in the
Mishnah. It's a Mishnah. 19th Perek.
Okay.
First Mishnah.
So let me finish my point.
I'm listening.
If this is something instituted by the rabbis, even if it's Mishnaic,
It's the 19th Perek, the first Mishnah.
and even one Jew can die.
Yeah, Mishnah Shabbat.
Even one Jew can die. You have an issue of sakana. Do you go through and still do something that's Mishnaic when you learn that there are issues of sakana and babies, and some, however few they may be, children are going to die?
I'm sorry, say that again?
The second question is, at what point do we say you uproot Mishnaic halacha? If we found out today, as an example, and this is clear cut, if we found out today medical medicine comes out and says circumcision is not a healthy procedure, it could cause major diseases and problems. Not because of sterile technique, but just the fact that a person is circumcised. For instance, they come up with that, they find out, are we now going to say stop circumcision?
I mean, the proper way to answer that question would be, this would be a good thing to do, let's say in Israel, or maybe even here, I don't know. You need to have a good study that looks at many cases, and you divide people into two groups. Actually, theoretically, you would do it into three groups. But it would be difficult to get the third group done. One group would be standard procedure, with Mezizah the way is ordinary or old-fashioned way. One through a device, if indeed that would be halachically permitted, and the third would be no Mezizah at all. You may have to go with goyim in the third group if you feel you're having halachic problems, but I don't really see that.
The Arabs do ritual circumcision very similar to us.
Mm-hmm. But that's at 13 years old.
Shmuel alav shalom told he did on many Arabs in the area. They called him too.
Mm-hmm. It would be difficult to say that the coagulation cascade is as developed in a 6-year-old, an 8-day-old child than a 13-year-old. You really, if you want to compare apples to apples, it has to be all on
the same day
or similar characteristics.
Where does Mezizah fall in, and how integral is it to Milah?
I look at it. I look at it as a more fundamental question. Is it sakana? And I think the answer is yes.
Probably was.
You're saying is Mezizah sakana?
Before you get to that,
yes.
But I told you, if we said that circumcision, if we came along and said Brit Milah was sakana, the doctors come out and say Brit Milah is sakana. It causes X, Y, and Z.
Right.
Does that mean, as Jews, we would come along and we would take one of the 630 mitzvot and throw it out the window? Everyone's going to say no.
I don't have that authority to say, nor do I know.
It's not an issue of authority. He's looking at your reasoning.
I understand that, but I do know that Berit Milah is a mitzvah deoraita, is emphasized and overemphasized in more than one place in Tanakh. Whereas Mezizah, which is rabbinical, and there is an idea of sakana, I think you would have grounds to stand on until we had further information to perform things in a different manner and do the proper study. Does it? That's a logical.
Okay, that's what his responsibility is in this Teshubah and all the other Teshubah. Where Mezizah is first mentioned, we can say definitely in the time of the Mishnah.
Mm-hmm.
Which holds a lot of weight.
And we have a Gemara over there that says, I believe it's Rav Papa, who over there says, whoever does not do Mezizah, you remove him, Mishum Sakana. So Rav Papa's reason was, it was a medicinal reason.
So, translation for those of us who are
alright, Rav Papa over there says that any mohel that does not do Mezizah, does not suck the blood from the place of the wound, he is causing danger to come to that child who just had a milah done to him, and we have to remove him from his position as a mohel.
Now you have to look at Rav Papa. Also, Rav Papa was a doctor, if I'm not mistaken. Also, so he's looking at it from the medicinal reason. But even if you didn't have the medicinal reason, again, where does Mezizah fall in contrast to washing a child, which the Mishnah talks about also, right? The Mishnah talks about washing a child in hot water before the Milah and washing the child after the Milah. Mm-hmm. Yet in the time of Shulchan Aruch already, he says we're not noheg to do it anymore because we know that there's no medicinal benefit in washing a child in hot water on Shabbat before the Milah or after the Milah. So you can't come along now and heat up water and bathe the child in hot water on Shabbat, which would be asur. So there already you see situations where they said medicinal, non-beneficial, not accustomed to do it today.
But I mean, from my understanding on various halachic medical issues, I know not every rabbi holds the same way, but Rambam's opinion has generally been that medicinal issues, especially medicinal issues, can be amended even if they are Talmudic to the most current medicinal technological knowledge of the day, and he even changes things in his writings. Correct. So I mean, just because the Mishnah comes around and gives a medical psak, it was probably very relevant in that particular day. But it's medicinal. Medicine today is clearly not what it was.
But it was accepted throughout by each rabbi in each time zone. Kept it going.
No, I understand that. That would hold true for halachic decisions that are not medicinal or tied to technology. I mean, Harambam clearly changes things when the light was shed on various different things that he thought were different in his day.
The other issue that comes into play, separate, is where's the first time that we find Motzitzin or Mezizah is with the mouth?
I don't know. When was that?
If I'm not mistaken, Joey, that's Shabbat over there?
Well, yeah. What Mishnah? What Gemara?
That's fine. If I'm not mistaken, I could totally be mistaken.
I don't know how they would do it any other way back then.
Suction device. Or intermediary device.
They had those.
I'm sure they had straws and stuff like that to be motzets. I'm not saying that's how it was, but what?
What about squeezing out the blood like that?
Well, it says motzets. Motzets means to draw. So a lot of them want to say from Lashon Harabah, motzets over there, they say is, if I'm not mistaken, and could be totally mistaken, I don't see it over here, but a she.
What's the reason for bloodletting?
So, I can tell you back in medieval times, everything was based on the different fluids of the body. That's how ancient medicine worked. There was the red. I think they used to call everything bile. There was the red bile, the green bile, and the black bile, and there might have been some other one. And if you had too much of the green bile, so you got jaundiced and you were yellow and you had this. And if you had too much of the black bile, then you had other diseases. And so they felt that by attaching leeches and other medicine type things that they used to do back then, that they could withdraw the excess that you were having if that was one of the problems that they felt that you had, and leeches were one of the ways of doing that. They felt that they could help an individual.
Is it good to give blood regularly, as people say?
Is it good to give blood?
Regularly? Like to let out your blood and clean it up? What's the positives of that?
There was a study recently that showed that those people who donated blood lived longer than those who did not. But that type of a study is clearly flawed because maybe people who didn't give blood were not as healthy as those who did give blood. So
they wanted candidates to give blood.
Outside of that particular trial, I don't really know of any well done study that could answer that question.
Who funded the study?
My logic so far tells me no, because God made the body pretty well.
I should hope so.
Any man-made way of cleaning the blood just doesn't seem so natural to me.
Well,
Unless you have a problem with your kidneys or something.
Alright, let's continue. Let's see where we're going to get with this and how this. Wait.
Consider and talk and analyze it until we get a better idea of where.
Okay. لا أحد بقى سري حامد قد شو دعس متاب أمينة كده بريكوت شوت مهم لمئات كده في دعاته زال سوسما نحن شادين بإسهول وسفيد ربنا شدات من الدين شؤون شيئين باسورك بين الدبار من شبات إسلام نحن شادين بإسود ربنا دمق القيل بحبورا بشبات بيقول كإيل لميشو سباك شؤوليها دين مهم بيبيلي راك سفيد ربنا. This is only a سفيد ربنا if at all. عقوب بنيم إن بيت منوس أو من يسود ربنان أو من سفك يسوع شاريه هو زال لو يحليت شيء الدين عمهم كموبان فينش أنو لعالم سفك يسود ربنان بزوت نحمتينو بالباد شنو حموتانو عقول بنيو سفكان ربنان لكولا. Okay, so the very, we're dealing with safek rabbanan. Alright, of course, it'll chot Shabbat. Alright, safek rabbanan, we know halacha, we have our rules, safek rabbanan kula, so obviously, we're lenient with safek rabbanan.
And therefore you would be able to do Mezizah
on Shabbat. On Shabbat, yes.
Even according to your opinion, to say it's kilkul.
Right. والخول السدادين بقاش مزباء Mezizah كيفان ديش كان ليتا دي إسورة. Okay? مدبريكو شو مرعيشين ومرجيزين اتلاب كل إيش مبري بريت شايم زي خوت هو زي شلمادا المسيسا شو سيام الجدر مزفا وعميدا بكين حوبا داتو ميزوتا داتو ميزوتا يسود البنان او فلوس فيك يسود. I'm not following here. Rabbi, I want to...
yeah, I was trying to find that email. Okay. Yeah, because I wanted for you to read it.
Alright, after. We'll get to the email later.
Okay. Where are you?
وين؟ مدبريكو شو مرعيشين ومرجيزين اتلاب كل إيش من بريد. شان إمزي خوت هو زي شلماد على مسيسا شو سيام جدر مزفا وعميدا بكين حوبا. You removed it from within the boundaries of Mizvah and you put it to stand up in the corner of an obligation. The two mizoter isur banan or filu safik isur. Mars, any idea what's going on here?
Not yet.
Not found.
1 second.
Hold on. The language is...
I don't understand where he's coming from all of a sudden. Maybe he's going to answer it himself. بزوت أشياء بقشوب من نقديها هي صوف مزوات المسيسة هي مزوات ربنان وهالدوار برور. bottom line, this مزوات المسيسة is مزوات ربنان and it's very clear. بعزي يسعكو كي ما بيسع كي نقيم مزوات ربنان. What value? What are we getting out of holding up and keeping and following this مزوات ربنان? وإذا نحن عبرين على يسود ربنان. And now at the same time we are transgressing in Yisud Rabbanan. وما تعم مزفاك الزوت بزمان هزي شتعما كرير حلاموت. And what is the purpose of doing such a mizvah nowadays when its reasoning, what do you call it, it causes like nightmares in a sense. ואם נגזור עתה דבשבת לא ימססו Mishum sefik isur v'rak b'hol yimosu. Now, if we're going to say, well, on Shabbat you can't do Mezizah because sefik isur, but we can do Mezizah on hol during the week. Imken harish kanu kawah mizvat Mezizah ad diyuta tahtuna. If we do that, we are downtrodden the strength of the mizvah Mezizah down to the most bottom rung. Shari yas'a. We've removed it from its standing, from its upholding area where it was, where we know we always did it because of sakana. And now we said, it's not that important, because if anybody born on Shabbat, so there's no sakana automatically. Technically, there shouldn't be any difference between Hol and Shabbat. When it comes to save a life. If we don't allow it on Shabbat, then we're leaving an opening for everybody who's against it to come and to annul it altogether. Kima sorech v'ma'ata. Oh, well, you're going to say, what purpose does it have? ومقام إم الصراف إليها شعار تعنتهم عليها, and then we're going to have that, and they could build upon it all their other claims. بدبريم إلو نقبيم هاللب لبيت حلالو. Just penetrate the heart and break into it to the most inner core. ולو يدعتي ميدا حكو لهجاؤون زخرون البرخاء عد جيد هزه شاري ما شوخي يحتعوت من نقديم بعيسم توعية مسيسا كيو يذهب هوزا لعيم الزه. شهيم حجبوه شبيغولاتها لعصور الدام فينها فوخو شهي له سيئو. يشبه زي دايف. Jason, look what's going on over here. He's going to talk somewhat. He's going to touch upon what the medical thought was, at least. ולא ידעתי מי דחקו לגאון הזה עד גדר הזה שהרי במה שהוכיח טעות מן הקדים בעשר תועלת המסיסה כמו שכתב הוא זה לעילם זה שהם חשבו, what did they think? שפעולתה לעצור הדם. They thought that the function of Mezizah is to stop the blood. ונהפוכו, we turned it over on them. We told them no, שהיא לא סיום. We're doing the Mezizah to draw out the blood, not to stop the blood. יש בזה די והותר לחתור דעת מתחסדים האלה החפייסים ביטולה מטעם חילול שבת חלילה וחס. This should be more than enough to uproot this, the great opinion of these pious people that want to, do away with Mezizah because of חילול שבת. כי לעשות שהונח בדעת מן הקדים שפעולת המסיסה היא לעצור הדם, אם כן نبروا عتاق ربوتينو ميسريها. Come and speak negatively by Hachamim who instituted it. שחלילה וחס לא הבינו דבר כי נהפוכו שהמסיסה תרבה סעותו ולא תעצרוה. Obviously, the Mezizah, the act of sucking, is going to draw out the blood, and it's not going to stop the blood in its tracks. וכיוון שפעולת העצירה נוכל לעשותה על ידי זילוף יין שבטבעו עושה הדם. We could just pour blood on it, and the pouring wine. Wine. על ידי זילוף יין, we just pour wine on, dripping wine onto that bleeding area, onto the wound, and that will stop, the bleeding and stop the blood in its tracks, as we know. Mikan, and we're not doing that. We're not saying to do that. We're saying we have to actually do sucking and draw out the blood. Mikan יסע העגל הזה לומר שיש בה חילול שבת כי אין מן הצורך לחלל שבת למסוס ביין סגי אבל באמת טועים הם כי רבותינו זיכרונם ברכה כיוונו במטרת המסיסה להוציא הדם ממקומות רחוקים וכל מה שכתבנו לעיל ואי אפשר לזלף עליו יין לבד כי היין עוסר ומנגד המבוקש וכיוון שהפעולה הנדרשת היא הוצאת הדם, הדבר מוכרע מאליו שאי אפשר להשיג פעולת ההוצאה כי אם על ידי המסיסה שנמשוך הדם בכוח להוציאו לחוס. וטעם המסיסה הוא להציל התינוק מן הסכנה. And the whole purpose of the Mezizah is to save the child from any danger. וכיוון שבאנו לידי כך, אם כן, מי זה יוכל לבטא בשפתיו שיש בדבר נגנוד איסור חלילה וחס והלא פיקוח נפש הוא זה ודוחה את התורה כולה. We are dealing with פיקוח נפש, and פיקוח נפש we push off the entire Torah וזה ברור. ואם כן בהוכחת טעותם היה די להשיל מנגדיה על טענתם ולא היה לו הגאון ז"ל להדחק בדוחק עצום המכאיב לב מליסי יושרה אשר הוא ז"ל ראש וראשון מליסיה. What are we getting from this so far?
Right. So much, what stops the bleeding of the mouth? The saliva in the...
Okay.
I don't know if it's the saliva.
Right. And he's contending that the purpose of the Mezizah...
No, Jason's not happy.
Well, that's the Sevara.
Well, the Sevara of stopping the blood is how did it stop the blood?
Right, how did it stop the blood?
Just like whatever fluids or salivas are in the mouth that close up when one bleeds in the mouth. So too, you want to put those salivas on the area.
But he's saying what we want is not the stopping of the blood. We actually want to draw out.
No. First area was
right.
Now second is the motzetz min hamekomot hachokim.
Right. That's what he wants. That's what he's claiming. The purpose is, and that's the pikuach nefesh. How, whatever that does, and that's why we went as far as breaking Shabbat for that, right? And we cannot differentiate in between the Shabbat and the regular week, right? We couldn't do that because of this effect that he was talking about before, which I lost it. I don't know exactly how that came in.
Well, it was from the part before that you missed.
Right. So he says that there was this effect, and based on this effect, right? Maybe on Shabbat we shouldn't do it, but then we can.
But if we're not going to do it on Shabbat, then you uproot the whole thing. Because you say, well, if you're not doing Shabbat, don't do it during the week either. Obviously, it has no purpose then.
Right. But he feels that the purpose then is really to draw the blood, right? And that's the sakana that we're talking about.
Suggestions, comments, criticisms?
I think I've said enough in regard to this particular issue.
عودة شو للبلية الهرب شميروب هلا حسن الحاج بعنيان زي أخرى يسيع وتهرن المكوم أحير شكتها بشمي زي يخريع عاد كمل معنا يجية تكون مسيسا يمنو تكون نبيئم هي بينمو شرب بينو تكينا يقول لي ومي يخريع مئزة تاعم نتكينا شو مر عليه شبتولة تاعم نتبطلات تكينا I don't know where he's coming from now. He's referring obviously to the Binyan Sion. شاري بمشنا لو ذكر تعم مسيسا خلال ورا بابا شيزكي تعم سكنا لو امر شي هو بدو تعم مسيسا بقى مسكنا لو بإعلانه عاش يوم على شتاعة بالدبار بشيء سكنا بالدبار عكنا شنو هذه حشاب الجاوزال لستون بزي بي مكتريجيم عليها بما شنو مار شيء الدبار تعم نستر ونحن لو ندعمه كان يفشل بطيلا كيف شلو يدعنو التعم يسودا.
So which way is he facing now, the Rabbi?
He's against that the Binyan Sion is creating these mysterious reasons.
Right. He feels that the reason is stated clearly.
Yeah. He feels the reasoning is sakana. ודבריו סגיבו ממני. دي مسيساه مدبري مشي ربنا على بشالوم او دبره النبيين مبني ما لون اختباء بالتوراة وبالنبيين ولما نعلم ذكرنا بمنوار شهيم متوراة شبع البي هذا ورقة شيش مين نقلو تعلومات حكمة قبلها مسورة يوتا ربوتين وبعليها الشاس ولما هو سلاخ ربابا تعمل سكنا بمهي هذا خان مشي مسيناي او دبري محوكي كدات إن صديقة التعم بهم دبرتهما قام مشكتا شلونه داعا تعم يسلوتا ولو نسكم مشنا بجمارات تعم تكناتا بقام ما هي سكناتا تميهوت ربوت يجب دركو شو ألف كيفي زي هو سوتير داعت عصمو شاري ذي علم زي هو خياح شار مسيسا سلي خالي يوبا بدي يكلا من لاشون وموصيسين ها أبو بمشنا بخطاب شورش مصاص لون مسمى منه راك المشيخة وينيكا.
That's Harambam. They bring it against.
وزيه إن قلت لي Harambam next line. وزيه وبدا كده هو سيه الدم قوات الحكيم ومزينة تعمل به Harambam ذات كتاب شو مسيسا هي اللي هو سيه الدم قوات الحكيم لديك كم لشون موسيسين يعوين شام نبريكو شو وإخا حركة السجل عليهم متبار وما شلو يدانو تعم لمن كنا. He's being a hypocrite over here. Makes no sense. في تعم الدبار نعلم معينينه ما توعدك يا سام هدكدوك شلاشون مصيصا وببه بهرزي شيته أفوخيم بنسي حاد يساروني ديعات الدبار ما هو بخريح الدبار شيكين هم مش بتلاشون. When you saying you don't know, when you saying what is it? It makes no sense. بيت شيم هالدبار جزرات حخامين بلتيه جلوت لانو تعم جزراتها هالدبار كشي ده إن كوح بيها خمين لعكور دبار من التوراة بيكون عسير كي يدوع فهي آخ جازوا ربنا المسوس أفيدوا بشبات والحليل عليها شبات حموراه ولعكور يسور توراة بيكون عسير بيدايم مش لما يمنينا متاعها سكنا شيء يشبه عذراء التنوق يمكن التوراة عصمة هي شيء تيرا حلو شبات من شو بكواح نفش تختيب بحبهم بلو شيء يموت بهم مزيه بنا أب لخول مزفوت شب التوراة لقبي بكواح نفش ملوها خميم هم شيء تيرو بعدين إن زي تعمل مسيسا لكن شو تعم أحير كموس يتربوت هي وزال إن كواح بيها خميم لاتير يسو توراة لاتير حلو شباش المسيسا. So it's proving from that obviously it's second is because the second is the ta'am.
Sakana has to be the time.
Has to be the ta'am. Has to be the ta'am. Otherwise, you can't get rid. You can't say this is an issue of pikuach nefesh.
That's if you say.
And you can't be mahal shabbah.
That's if you say it's the Rabbanan.
What are you going to say to the Oraita?
That's if you say it's the Rabbanan.
How can you come and say the Oraita? What are you going to base yourself upon?
It's one of the steps of Milah.
And so then you have to have Hilul Shabbat.
It's one of the steps of Milah.
Because it's one of the steps of Milah.
And Mezizah.
Right. Okay.
I understand.
Okay. I see where you're coming from. Okay. جيمال هالدوار تموا شاري طعام مسيسا مفوراش بالسوقين الشبات شاري أمنينان هاتها مرببا هاي أمنا بخليه سكناه بخليه مكشينان بيشيطة دكا ما حليلان عليها شباتا شنو ما هو مشني ما هو تيما دام مفقات أكيد كمش مالان حبوري محبار بلش شيء إمر بابا لا أشمعينان شيء سكناتا هاينو أمني مشي تعم هيتي هم مسيسا بشبات ميشوم إن كان
حلول شبات
إن كان حلول شبات دام مفقيد باكيد فدام I'm sorry بنسيم
it's already enclosed it's
right.
outside of the it's above the flesh so.
right فدام نتون بكيس كموناح بتوخ كيدي بإنه أقرب مكومو right it's just on the outside external والفيزي جام بحول المسكنة ابن المصاص قمش مالان بابا يدام حبوري محبار
it's still connected to the rest of the blood
إذا أيدي أم مسيسا هو عصي حبورا شئين هدام يوسي من يتاك مكومو إلا عيدي حبورا وزي حلو شبات وأسوب شبات وفلو أخي كبي ميلا مطاله سيئو أفلوشي وعصي حبورا مش مسكنة وما هي سكنة مخرح نومار ميشائيل شاف الدامي هي مزي سكنة التينوك بإمكان هريا تعمل فراش لهديا مشوف سكنة ومفراش ما هي سكنة هاينو ميشائيل شاف الدام بدوي كأنه مكورو okay obviously he's saying the سكنة
the second is that the blood can't stay there
right but not explaining what it is
right
وما صورك لفريشة تمزي وبزي سالت ميهاتوش تمام رمبام زال ميهيخن هو سي تعم هم مسيسا له سي الدم بأخراح وزال له الداحيك ولمسول له يشوف بدكدوك لشون موسسين يعني ينشام ملو كان أحيي كي بيقف السجياء مفوراش بتعم كإيكار ومنا لمدوك ولا بوسكم زال بأوفان كي دبريها راب جاءوني يعقوب زال لو ياخوتي للشباب من يفلقوا منه بسريق عيون.
What's he said? Can you go back on that end part a little slowly?
وبزي سارت ميهاتو شيطان رمبام. Once we explain this, all of his doubts and all his questioning on Rambam are gone. Where did he come up with this reasoning of the Mezizah to bring out the blood? He's forced he's trying to find some way to explain Mosesin. But it's not so, my brother. Within that sugya the Gemara itself, mifuraj ba ta'am ka'ikar. It seems that the reasoning, this is the main reasoning.
Reasoning, Yani?
Yes, ومنا لام دو كل poskim. From this, so everything, all the poskim went right. بأوفان كي دبرها راب يقولون يعقوب زال لو يقول يا شباب. I can understand what his problems were. منه بسرق أيون. ثالث. حقا وانا مفوسام. Okay, no problem. Have fun. And go to Mefusam.
I'm looking up saliva and coagulation.
No problem, go for it.
I found something from 1979.
Okay. It's better than nothing. بعض فلوس في إسرائيل بيقولوا المشنا بيقول بيه العزل كتاب متنيدان ديدان اتهنينا مهالين وبرعين وموسسين. Was that Mars?
Yes, go ahead, because it's famous.
يقول ليه Everything is famous. But he's
you
bringing
have his quote right now. This is go ahead.
يقول له نقدود دعت هروفئيم المسيسة ايش هنا وفيما شؤون هروفئيم عخشار هذا رباه على يديه المسيسة افشار يستكين.
Exactly.
Right, that's what Jason's saying. Right, Jason?
I didn't hear it in English yet. Mike,
This
maybe.
will explain now.
Alright, he's quoting the Tiferet Israel on his commentary on the Mishnah. And he said nowadays, when we have the doctors...
When was the Tiferet Israel? It must be in the 1800s?
Early 1800s, late, right?
I'm not sure exactly.
I'll check. You know what, Rabbi Nassim, you read, I'll look for the date.
Right, because he's already saying that...
Read.
That he's quoting the doctors over here.
Right.
ישראל בביאו למשנה פרקי רבי אליעזר כתב במתניתין דידן דתננן מוהלין ופורעין ומוססין. Right? So we do the whole 3 steps. התנגדות דעת הרופאים למסיסה וזה לשונם, and this is the position of the doctors against מסיסה, right? ולפי מה שאומרים הרופאים עכשיו, and according to what the doctors state today, אדרבה, על ידי המסיסה אפשר להסתכן. It could be that through the Mezizah, it's right. Sakana.
There's more harm to the
it paresuni keve, right? It breaks. I guess. Right. So it rips it.
Mm-hmm. The hole.
The hole is ripped. Bishpeuda maher haramila, kemoses yain, shebehabit. Right. So now it's going to shoot out the blood. Right.
He died in 1840.
1840. Okay, so it's got to be.
In fact, 1839, technically.
Okay.
And that would be Israel Lifshitz.
וישפעו דם אחר, אחר המילה כמוסס יין שמחבית על ידי דף ששואף רוח שמניקת מיד היין שתחתיו פורס ועולה אף אחר שפסק למסוס. Right, so he's claiming that the blood continues to flow
even if he stops sucking.
Right, even if after he stops sucking. Right, ואין לתמוה על זה שהוא כנגד הש"ס דבכמה דברים נשתנה הטבע. And we don't have to be surprised that this is against the Talmud, that since we find that in many places nature has actually changed. Right, so don't be surprised, we're not going against the Talmud. The Talmud was right about what the Talmud said, but simply nature has changed today, right? ולכאורה היה נראה לשמוע בקולם שהרי אפילו בכריתות שומעים לקולם ואפילו להקל. Who? To the doctors.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
To the doctor.
Right. So he says that, right, even in other issues we listen to the doctors. I don't know exactly what's the issue with the keritot, but he says that we listen to the voice of the doctors ואפילו להקל, and we go lenient, even. כל שכן שנחוש רק משום סכנה והם בקיאים בסכנה יותר ממנו. Right? How much more so that we should suspect about danger when they know danger better than we. אף על פי כן נראה לי דאין לזוז מדברי רבותינו זיכרונם לברכה. But even so the Tiferet Israel is saying we should not move away from the words of our rabbis. ולדברי? ולא דמה. לרחיסה שנשתנה הטבע. Right, and it's not the same. I guess this is about the.
We talked about
washing the kid before and on Shabbat in hot water.
Right. אבל חכם מי לא מודו הרופאים דל ידי המסיסה ניסה להגיד מסביעה. What is it? The sevilla? That's
maybe swelling.
Or discoloration. No, severe. Probably swelling.
וכיוון דגם לפי דבריו גם מסיסה מהנה אין לנו אלא דברי רבותינו וכו'. וסיים בזה לשונו ואף על פי כן נראה לי שלא ימסוס כל כך בחוזק בשבת. Right, so still now he was a little bit disturbed with this whole issue, and he says at the end it seems to me that if it's on Shabbat don't soak too harsh. דהש"ס לא כאמר רק היי ומנה דלה מייס משמע דלה מייס כלל.
By the way, that argument, don't suck too hard on Shabbat, goes against every sakana thing that I've ever heard about Shabbat. They say Shabbat is like chol, that's it, if it's a sakana issue.
100%, that's why I didn't... You've ever heard? You familiar with that?
I read the Tefillah Yisrael, but
I'm
I
saying,
don't
have you heard
remember the
that from your
last line.
teacher or
No,
anything
no,
like that?
No, the last lines I don't remember. But it's interesting, he says that,
But what?
that since the doctors can't prove that there could be a benefit from Mezizah, you can't just move away from it.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning maybe there is a benefit.
That they don't know yet.
Right, that they don't know. The study's never been done. Like today.
You can't reverse the call without evidence.
Right. Correct. That's his
Instant replay.
TiVo.
Right, so this whole thing is prepared. So he doesn't want to move away from the Mezizah, even though he felt that there was a reasoning to follow the doctors because they knew more than we do, right? And at the end, he wants to maybe soften to it, don't do it so harsh, the Mezizah.
if you're worried about Shabbat.
If you're worried about Shabbat.
If you're worried about Shabbat, but that really flies against everything that we read. Okay.
Yeah,
go on.
יראה שהגאון זכרו לברכה סתר סברת הרופאים ההם. Right? You see that he contradicted the words of the doctors. רק מכוח דברי רבותינו זכרם לברכה מייסדי המסיסה, only from the position of our rabbis. Who
actually established the Mezizah.
Right. So he took down his words, right? מאחר שגם הרופאים עצמם מודים בתעלתה שמסלת מספית אגיד. Since the doctors themselves agree that they do this Mezizah thing, apparently, right? Yeah, I think it is
Swallowing information.
It helps from information. Is that true, doctor?
I'm sorry. The way it helps in information.
If drawing out could help
from the
information.
section, from the cut area.
Help it heal better?
See, his fight over here now is
I don't think so.
that it's
information.
That the drawing definitely slows swelling. The doctors in those times agreed to it. He said, "Shegam harofim atzman modim." The doctors even agreed to that it stops inflammation.
This in the 1800s, mind you.
Right. So now he
all
wants to say, so we do see it as a medical benefit.
All I can
At that time, at least.
all I can tell you is today, I don't know of anybody that uses that method to decrease inflammation. I mean, I just don't know of it. That doesn't mean it doesn't work. I haven't seen it employed.
But the question.
Do you know of any doctor that has put a suction device to?
Why don't you try it in Cornell Hospital? You can get away with it then.
To promote
I have no
healing.
idea.
I don't
Acupuncture. Don't they have, not acupuncture, don't those Russian people never forget the
I don't know if that's a good argument.
Are you talking about suctioning devices? You remind me. Friday night I walk in.
Right.
About a Hatzalah call. Russian lady, she's sick or something. She has on her back maybe 10 suction devices that she has suctioned to her back.
Oh my God.
And she puts them in hot oil and she suctioned them. But what happened when she put it in hot oil? It burnt her back.
Shouldn't do it the right way.
Right, but they believed in this whole suction.
No,
they were rubber things with a thing. Okay, about 10, 15 of them are lined up on her back to help the healing process.
You're laughing. It actually works. My grandfather used to do it for my father. He used to come take it when he had like a bad back and like stiffness of the muscles and what do you call it, and the joints in the back. He used to take like baby food jars, okay, and he used to take like long stick of cotton he'd create and and douse it in alcohol and create a fire, put it into each jar to actually vacuum it out and then quickly onto the back. And he used to like put a whole bunch of them and create a little vat. He used to after that he could move around unbelievably.
That's exactly what they were doing.
My grandfather used to do it to my father when I was a kid. I remember it.
There's only one case that I remember.
It has a name.
There was one patient that was so sick in the ICU. He didn't even need to be in the ICU, but he was like the head of the cardiology department's rabbi, and he had really bad hazit. The guy had a bad bed sores, and so they employed some suction device that might help with the healing process. to promote granulation tissue to come in. But I think actually wanted to promote inflammation because that would bring cells to the area. I'm not so sure it diminishes.
It's an interesting thing to find out, though, just out of a side point over here. Yeah.
Sure. So far I have one thing from 1979,
Which says,
actually it's not even helpful, so forget it.
Has nothing to do with it.
No, I mean that perhaps that saliva may have something called tissue factor. Tissue factor is a stimulation for the coagulation cascade, for one of the two coagulation cascades, the extrinsic.
okay, but we're not looking at
That'll
saliva
help
issue over here.
that will help with clotting.
Well, the question is again.
You're asking are there any health benefits? You were
Right. We're asking are there any health benefits?
Right.
Saliva is, even though he doesn't bring down over here, saliva is one that's I've seen in many sifarim.
Mm-hmm.
The other one is definitely the swelling. So
Right.
we have to take both of those issues and say,
Right.
if it's because of swelling, then maybe I can use an intermediary device because I'm still getting that suctioning effect. It doesn't have to be dafka with the mouth. But if I say it's mishum coagulation and the saliva effect, then using a tube doesn't solve my problem.
We would only want saliva after the sucking, not prior to sucking.
You want to suck to draw,
and then you want to
and
apply
have
the saliva
on there to kill bacteria, to coagulate the blood.
Yeah, Neosporin can do the same.
Okay, fine.
Right.
Come on.
So the first thing he says, actually, that right. Right, but he knocked out the words of the Rofeim, of the doctors, right? Just just based on the fact that the doctors also feel that Mezizah is good because it takes away the inflammation. האמנם לא סתר סבלתם במאי דחאי של סכנה האחרת ונתפרסו נקבי הפוכן אחר המסיסה דוגמה לסילון, המוסס, יין מן
The pores, I'm guessing he's referring to.
Right. Okay. Right. But he didn't knock out the words of the doctors on regard to their fear of the Mezizah opening up the wound, right, and making the blood come out, like what we said about
earlier.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like what we said about the barrel, right, the barrel of wine. ואם כן מה תקנה תקנו בזה. What's Aleph Hey Nun?
Okay, מה תקנו בזה? I don't know. Probably something very simple we can't think of. אני שמציסה יש בה תועלת, סביית הגיד.
אין צורך להשיגו על ידי המציסה, יש לזה רפואה אחרת, כמו שכתב עוזל בשמם, לתת על הגיד מטלית שרויה במי אקסטרקטים. Right, so he says then
if that's the case, you can do it. You can do it a different way.
Something simple we can't think about.
You can do it different by putting something on there, a pellet, a cloth of some sort.
Right.
או לשים מטלית במים קרים, or to put clothes in cold water. ולמה לנו המסיסה מעטה? If that's the case, why do we need the whole מסיסה? יש בה סכנה אחרת של התפרסות הדם. That it could have other other effects, like the blood coming out like this. ולזן לא תיקן הגאון כלום, and so the Gaon didn't help us out on anything. שהרופאים לא יספיק להם מה שנאמר, because the doctors will say that's not enough. You didn't completely
throw it out.
אין לנו לזוז מדברי רבותינו מאחר שאתם מודים בתועלתה שהלא ישיבונו אמת שיש בה תועלת אכן יש בה גם נזק. Sometimes the words are a little bit difficult.
אין לנו זון לזד. מאחר שאתם מודים בתועלתה שהלא ישיבונו אמת שיש בה תועלת אכן יש בה גם נזק.
כי על כן טוב לבטלה ולהסיר סכנתה. והתועלת שבה
נשיג אותו במים קרים לבד.
So these are the doctors saying.
This is the doctors talking, exactly.
They're saying, okay, you have something good and you have something negative, right? So they're saying...
So there's something negative, we need to get rid of it, and
right.
something positive, let's do it by using cold water.
Right. וחזרה קושין למקומה,
קושין למקומה,
למה לא נשמע לקולם בדבר סכנה? Why won't we listen to the doctors when there is danger? בפרט במה שהביאו דמיון מוחשי לדבריהם מסילון שבחבית. How much more so when they're bringing us a clear example, like the case of the barrel of wine. בהלא יאמרו בדעתם שהם חכמו חס וחלילה מרבותינו זיכרונם לברכה מייסדי. And they will say that they're wiser than the rabbis that decreed the issue of the Mezizah.
يعني وداتي نرئي لي لومار شيئين كل حشاش روفين سكنة المسيسة هم سباد دميونام شديموهم مصيصة لسيدونهم موسيس يعني ما حبيت دميونان معفا بدوريم تفيليم هم إلو
معفا you gotta say that it's something close to tefillim to the flute.
دهري يش الشغل هلو نودع كيم بتتابع النزليم لعالوت لمعلى بشوم أوفان يمنوع على يديه كوح الدوحة بدوحة تميل النزليم هم. Okay, something that drips, something that's liquid, doesn't go up unless something is going to push it up.
Right.
Okay? وميها علاقة اليين شبتحتيت حبيت لعالوت لمعلى وليشتبخ بكلي أحد بحوث. Who is causing the wine in the bottom of the barrel to rise up and pour into the next vessel that's next, that's outside of it? هذا قوة حمسيصة شماساس هم مشيخ يان بفي أسلون قوة حداد وأيه قوة حدوحي عود بكأشان افتورة شيء له الزوت أجل الإبارور كيرو في إما هم تعوب بدميونام شادوانو ده بحكمة التبع شهافير مليت حلال شبحبيت هياهن the air that is filling up that empty spot within the barrel of wine who hallohais lahas gadol al hayyahin is pushing down great ways on the wine shebetocha lehosio lahus v'lereshim mekomo to push it down to take its place.
It reminds me of similar to those science projects.
Right.
Exactly.
Put in there and then
right.
But
exactly.
You always need some sort of suction effect to get it started. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You always needed something.
Something has to start it.
You always needed something.
Right. Definitely.
Suck the straw and then
it will continue.
Float.
Right.
Okay.
You had to have something started off, otherwise it would never happen. And to inherit the spot. We have to help it out, like you just said, Mars. We have to stop what's against it. Okay, when we bring this silon, this is like a straw in a sense, into the habit, the horik al yado et hayanj betocha, vir memalet halal silon, okay, b'pnimioto. לא יניח היין להיכנס אליו כי לא ייתן לו לרשת מקומו.
Once you're blowing in there.
Exactly, because not going to let it go in there. ואז גם האוויר הלוחש שבחבית לא יוכל לפעול פעולת דחיסתו בהיות האוויר שבסילו מנגד אליו ועושר בעד יציאתו. It's pushing against it again. ועל כן יצטרך למסוס בפי הסילון. I'm going to have to suck.
You have to start the sucking.
בפי הסילון ולהוריק האוויר בתוכו, and to remove, to suction out, and what do you call it? The air that's within it. Because and after it gets vacuumed out, this straw, as تقف هاvish بحلها حبيت الحوس على الياين بتحكنه لست لحوس. Automatically the air is going to cause, a pushing effect to push the wine through. Because السيلون يشتبك لحوس, it's going to push through and it's going to come out. וזה דחה עוד שאם יתרומם פי הסילון מהיין שבחבית שאז ייכנס לתוך הסילון אוויר מן החבית עצמה יחזור אותו האוויר לנגד הראשון ולא יעשה עוד יין עד אשר נשוב שנית השקיע הסילון תוך הימים שאוב את האוויר שנית אשר עבר בתוכו. If we remove that straw, everything's going to stop. ועוד שני Sheima habit situma. Okay, you have this barrel and sealed. V'sigurah yetem mikos there, completely sealed and shut up from all sides. Lo yesem minna hayayim b'shum ofan. Gem ki nasim barza b'fiya habit. Even if we put a faucet, okay, right into this barrel, nothing's going to happen. We have to make a small opening on top. You have to have.
You need two sides open, no?
You have to. Well, with the barrel in this case, if you're going to put in a faucet, on the side of it, and you want something to come out, you need a hole on top, even a small hole.
Right. So to allow the air
to push.
Right. This is such a beautiful piece. This is
that's
very,
like when
very
you
pretty.
have. How come the truth is I don't remember doing it anymore. But years ago we used to make a hole on this side of the thing and then a little hole on the other side.
Sure.
When
you boil a can of the 12 can of Similac, another plastic bottle.
Do it?
Sure you do.
Sure,
of course.
You have to. I remember that.
If you only make it one side, what happens? It'll pour a little bit and then it stops.
Alright, so you need.
And then you shake it.
Okay.
So you push them. So you make another small hole on the other side and it pours beautifully.
Okay, so that's what it is. I remember like juice cans and stuff like that. Okay,
good. What is that? I remember camp. It used to be like that.
All these things.
Okay, good.
Or even like let's say you had a can of soda, and the pop top broke off of it, and you couldn't open the can, and you make one small hole, try to get the soda out, you couldn't. You have to make another can, and then it would hopefully pour through. Yeah.
Right. Wow.
It was back then when the cans were really made out of metal, and you had to bang through them.
You have to pull the thing. Remember? Not like you push it down.
No.
You have to pull it.
To pull the
right. Well, they still have it in Mexico like that.
I'm telling you. No, in Mexico.
No, they don't have it anymore.
I don't think they have it anymore. But
sorry.
I remember that.
في نسيم برزابي فيها حبيط هذا شيء نكوب حبيط لمعنا كيف قتلنا شيء يحضر حاجة في طريق شام في أساس هيان طريق برزا بيجد أبواب من وساء ومحشي. This is something that's tried and tested and everybody knows it. وإمكان هريا وبرار. It is proven, it's clear. شافير كانوس توقع حبيط هسيبات إسياتها النحوس. The air that is pushing into the habit.
He has to say that's why you need the
suction. النحوس لا سيلون شماسسنا الفيم. Not the straw, it's the air. كيراك زوت وعيلا مسيسات بيها سيلون فتوت تاريخ تفنيها فيش بحبيط لمعني فقط بعولاد حيساتو بخاشب آرتي.
I'm going to excuse myself now, guys.
Yeah, well, let's finish until bed at least. You don't want to do it? Come on.
I'm tired. I love to, but I'm tired.
No, well, at least we'll finish the section.
No, keep going. It's okay. Okay, it's okay.
No, we'll finish the section. David will drop off CD.
No, okay.
I'm not doing it tonight.
Should I take a copy of this or?
If you want.
Okay, I'm saying
you should do it tonight.
No, then he's going to read ahead. He's not going to be able to enjoy it.
No, why? It's fine if he reads ahead.
You should learn about it.
Maybe you should do it tonight.
It's most important for him anyway.
I'm good. You don't have to drop it off.
No, you should drop it off.
Drop it off.
Drop off what?
CD.
For 10 minutes worth, the more you're going to go through?
No, it's
maybe you're going to want to hear yourself what you have to say. Because you're going to want to, amend some of your words maybe. Before we release it to your friends over there at Torah Center.
You have to think to your uncle. No, it's Tuesday or Wednesday?
I'll tell you tomorrow.
What thing do you have?
The dinner for Rabbi Yeshiva.
Oh yeah, they nailed me on the phone for money on that.
Good cause.
Huh?
Good cause.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
لا حريزوت هذا يقول بعض شيخ اليابين كأن شوم صاد دمايون ذي يحس المسيسات جدي هميلا هم سيلون هياين هنسكير ذعير كي جدي دام هميلا هم عرقيم ملئيم دم. These are veins, is full of blood. وإذا أبير يشام شيء حق الدم لستيت أحركه بحمات المسيسات شكدما. And what air is there that's going to push out the blood to come after a little, small suck? Like this straw that you're putting in, to suck up the wine from the vats. بسبات برسوت الدم بتينوكوت الموديم لفعاميم رحقوت. إنه بسبات المسيسة حديدة. كي نسيون هورا كمان بعميم شأحاش بسك الدم أحار عسيات الميلاه. يشوب الدم باريس كما حار 4 و5 شعوت شعبرو معيش بسك الدم. بالفعين كما حار يوتم الزي. بزي يكريم التابع تقبلوت الدم شبتينوك لسبات ربو يحوم التبعي شبع عركاب وما جاء أمان زي مسيساء حليلة. Don't say people are going to complain. No, by you doing the Mezizah, you caused my baby to bleed, and even though the baby stopped bleeding after Milah, 4, 5 hours, 6 hours later, tons of blood started gushing out, and this is all your fault, Rabbi. You Mr. Mohel, because you sucked blood out. And so you cause a chain reaction. He goes, that's not what happens. This is part of the nature. So what do you call it? Now there is an opening, and what do you call it? And this is a vein that's trying to heal itself, and blood gets flowing, and so obviously blood is going to come out. Gam yesh min dam ra she'eno ne'asa b'nakel mesibat she'eno nekrash rahaman al-Islam v'nekra b'fiha rof'im imoplin. And sometimes you have people that have bad blood that just cannot coagulate, and this is a hemophiliac. And this is not our fault. This is the nature of that person's blood. This is a problem. If somebody was born, and the brothers before him that were born had milah, they died because of milah. You shouldn't perform milah on this child until maybe later on in his life when he's stronger. And even then,
they check for it, or they can check before.
Nowadays,
they used to not be able to check in the older days.
No, the old days they couldn't check.
Nowadays they can check.
The children died, and into the Hari Hazakah you stopped doing milah.
Yeah.
So you had 2 children dead.
Yeah, certain families that would, one child dies, the next child dies, the third child they wouldn't do milah on. بقى شيء كناقع مشبحه شيئين دمام نقرش ممكن أسود المول عاد أشيء يحليف قوة حداش بتوخو. Can't do milah on him. It's asur to do milah. You know you're going to be killing him. Idea zeman or idea trufot b'mehab barzil. Either time will change his blood and strengthen it, or you're going to have to put this guy onto liquid vitamins, liquid iron technically, and therapy until his blood changes.
Beautiful, huh? He knows this. He knows the science.
He was just.
He was
a Moher. He was a Acham. We're talking about big guys.
Very enjoyable.
I'll never forget that time when we went to Torah when Rabbi Shalush was in town that Friday night. And I mentioned to him, he just stopped in his tracks. He shook. Anish v'kativ. And Rabbi Abadi was standing there. He's like, what are you talking about? What's going on? You know whose name he just mentioned to me? One of the greatest rabbis that ever existed. Yeah. This guy had such power of Torah in him. He was a walking Torah. If somebody was going against the Torah and he told them so, and they didn't listen to him and they came against him, he could kill people with his looks. He would give them a look and the person would die. He goes, you wouldn't believe it, but my rabbis told me that they saw it happen with their own eyes. This is like, this was somebody tremendous. This is not somebody you fool around with. This is unbelievable. Rabbi Shulus was like, he just stopped and started shaking.
What did they say?
Anish v'katil.
Oh, wow. I never heard that before.
It's a well-known case. So there was a wedding of one of the wealthier people, and the lady who was one of the guests was dressed immodestly, like strapless type of thing, whatever. And he told her, listen, we're not going to do the wedding for these people until you leave the room. She says, no, I'm not leaving. No, you're going to leave the room. No, I'm not leaving the room. If you're not leaving the room, I'm not doing the wedding. She goes, fine, don't do the wedding. Let somebody else do it. So that's the kind of,
right.
person she was. He goes, okay, I'm leaving. He left. And everyone was like, well, what's going on? So whatever other rabbis happened to be there, were like, in a sense, forced to do the wedding, so the wedding will go on. Next morning, the lady was dead.
Oh my God.
But this is not the case he's referring to. Rabbi Yisrael, he goes, no, different story altogether. He goes, I'm not even going to tell you the story. This is what I told you, Bisham Tov Gagin mentions it.
Oh.
He was there for this one.
Yeah,
in the Keter, he mentions in one of the footnotes down there. He was forced to do the wedding instead.
Oh, he was one of them.
Yeah. He mentions, he goes, next morning she was gone. That's it. She was like, imagine fighting against somebody like that. It's like, it's frightening, you know? Anyway, so you have to take liquid liquid iron. This could even happen to, to older people.
Right.
When their skin gets cut, the blood doesn't coagulate, they could die from it. They could bleed to death. Again, there was no Mezizah at all. And don't say that this danger is happening to a child, that it starts bleeding after 5-6 hours, profusely. And obviously it's going to come to stuff. Don't blame it on the Mezizah, because with the Mezizah, what do you call it? The positive aspects of Mezizah are well known. וגם התפרסות הדם של ידי כוח המסיסה שרוקנו גידי הדם ישובו כותלי הגידים לדבק זה בזה מסגי הדם מלסת עוד. And sometimes even the Mezizah helps to bring the skin together so it can heal better. ובכן אחרי שהוכחנו תעוד דמיונם נשובה אל מקומנו כי אין לנו דברי רזל אשר אורחותם אורחות חיים. And I'm going to, obviously we have proved our point, and we have proved that these people are wrong in their view of the Mezizah, but obviously we have to follow the words of Hachamim, because their paths are the paths of life. Now what the rabbi said over there, the Fair Israel, Rabbi Lipschitz,
right,
said, Shabbat don't suck too hard. I'm sorry, I didn't have the privilege and the merit to understand his reasoning. We're talking about refuah. Refuah is different than Hol and Shabbat. هم مثال حلو الشباب. ثم حلو الشبات كان شلون يمسوس بحوزك ما تكون عاسينه. What are you talking about? حلو الشبات. You're not going to suck hardly. What positive thing have we done to create, to help create? Hello حلو الشبات نعيسى بخول أوفارين. They take a Mezizah هريشونا هري هو عكير الدم يحبوره. Once you start to suck, that's the حلو الشبات right there. What's the difference how hard you're sucking or how softly you're sucking? It doesn't change the halacha. You are pulling forth the blood. كموش كتب رشيب متنيتين الشبات. شيم هدام يوسي فين تاك محبوله إلا يديه Mezizah. بإمكان تبدأ ريشونا the first drop of blood يتساء يديه Mezizah إن بقال أو بعوزك كون يعكار محبوله بيكون شكين لجلسات إلا يديه حبوله. يمكن هري حدا شبات كوا. يريد الحلو شبات. What's the difference?
Right.
עוד קושיה. ده لو نتنا شبات تحوط من فهم ميلا. We know شبات ميلا pushes off the شبات. لكن المسيسة دوحة شبات محال سكنة. المسيسة pushes off شبات because of سكنة. فلما لو يمسوس قم حوزك. Why should you, suck out forcefully? بيو فانشلو يدات اللي إيش التخليط هي إذا تجأون ذا بزر. I don't understand what his point is with this at all.
Right.
بيعتا حريقت بيجي عاني قل يوم طيت مع كوبس شلاح لي على يديه هبيدوار. And now after I started writing this part, I got whatever pamphlet number 9, from the selections that you sent me, through the mail. بشام رأيتي لحاس حكمي مرباني دورينو شمو دونو دعلي. Okay, some other rabbi from our time has written شهبيد بريها قاون زي أحروني بتما على بأسلوتون ليل بتريز دولي على Mezizah كل ده هو يمسوس الرق الدم مخوناس مفكات تأكيد على كان شنو بين شام بهم ده انت مهم بمحيط كيبوده. This is really very far-fetched. كي هم نجد السجين ده أسكنا ده دم لا مفكات تأكيد إلا حبولي وحبها بنيجي بريش رشيبة هران كموش أمانو لعيد وذكو شاهد ده ورزي شهري كوم الثلاثة Mezizah هيدا وسيها الدم كموت الحكيم. The whole person Mezizah has to pull out and draw forth the blood from the furthest regions. كموش كتف رمبام وماران وبمسيسة دم هكانوس لباد. If you're just talking about removing the top layer of blood and there's no benefit to the baby. فينو مسيلو it doesn't save him ميدي سكنة. بيمكن حل شباب بتي توعيد إذا حلو شبات without any purpose whatsoever. تحت شحشاب زود لشميرة شبات because you're thinking you're observing the Shabbat.
Right.
بدوك كسرتي. وأتى كوري نعيم. هنا عرفت فريق ماشي سيجا يدي. بستيراد بريم نقدهم مسيسا. مرايوتهم بتعنوتهم. فهم بخول تعنوتهم راك هتحكموت على دبرير. They're all trying to be wise guys against the Hachamim. بحديث لأنه taught لهم أذن. And perish the thought that we should even turn our ear to listen to them. They sit with match and Mesisan who Gabi Israel Ma'alam Mekama the Fishanim. Go out and see. The Mesisan has been done among Bnei Israel for how many thousands of years? How many multitude of children have been born to Bnei Israel, and how many still will be born? How many had Mila, had Mesisa, nothing bad happened to them, nothing bad is going to happen to them. And nobody opened their mouth to even utter a word. And all the generations of the past, nobody said anything. Now everybody's so smart. Everybody's so intelligent. Now everybody has to say something. All of a sudden, people are wise guys. And they're going to use all their efforts to try to uproot something that's already firmly planted. And it's not worth to waste our time to try to turn away their opinions. Consider them. He's giving a summary basically over here. The purpose or the positive aspect of the Mezizah is extremely great for the person who is being sucked according to the opinion of our Hachamim. Also from tried and tested medical science. And from it we will not sway. والحشاش سكاناه هم محودشت شوم سامنو إليها لب بسعيف الشريشي بعد الشام. And from the new thing we will get to it and we're going to talk about it. أخير حديث بتل مسيوتها. But to totally annul and eradicate Mezizah, purge the thought. بكوح نفش هي this بكوح نفش بشبات جام كم مسيسين وشبات we also suck بتيشوم حشاش بكوك حديدة without giving it a second thought. ومزفات مسيسا بشبات هي مشبات من وكام يكون حشاش بيقوم شرحه وشبات بعد رباه بفات الشام باراء وثميماه هي بداية بزي مع التاني فين سيف الشني بعثات الشام.
Alright.